I am Paul Glasgow, of course. I'm looking at two different cameras over here. We are going live right now from our studio here in the Temple of Boom. Those of you that are used to the Friday night gun news live, and I'm trying to get everything right here. I'm trying to log on to our main screen right here so that I can interact with you guys. I've got YouTube over here and I've got Instagram over here. So I'll be referencing back and forth to you guys. The YouTube guys, the guys on Instagram, I can already see all of your posts, so or your text and your responses and your comments and all that. So I've got you covered here. YouTube, on the other hand, is way too small, so that's why I'm trying to log in over here. And you guys know that. You know the deal. If you got a beer, this is Friday night. I will pass the disclaimer like I normally do. Do not drive. Make sure you have a designated driver. Make sure you're not going anywhere after this if you don't have a designated driver. And if you don't have a designated driver, don't drink. But if you have cold beer, you have some friends with you, pop it open. Enjoy your time with us because I have a lot to go over. Guys, you will know, and again, I'm going to try to do this as seamless as I can. As you know, I haven't been on for 2 or 3 weeks now. Not last weekend, not the weekend before. The weekend before was the NRA annual meeting. Here we go. I think I am almost on. Yeah, the NRA annual meeting. And then we had, last week I had a crawfish bowl to go to. Of course, we're in Louisiana, those of you that don't know, in Southwest Louisiana. Lake Charles, Louisiana, specifically. But last week was our sheriff. He's being opposed for the first time in God knows how long. I don't know how long it's been since our sheriff has been had an opponent in the election. But he is. Nevertheless, they have a huge crawfish boil, and this last Friday night was the biggest I've ever seen. He's been around, I don't know, 12 years. Maybe, I mean, that's a guess, but maybe 12 years. So anyway, he's been around for quite some time, and I've been to all of his crawfish bowls, and last week was just incredible. It was insane how many people were there. So anyway, I've got everything up, and I do have the, oh, that's cool. Brent Flash says, hearing the air show planes come in. That's pretty cool. We do have an air show down here tomorrow. We got a bunch of rain night before last in some areas. We got a ton of rain earlier this morning, like at 2 o'clock in the morning, just blistered, baseball size hail, all kinds of stuff, and we got another round of it coming through here in a few hours. So not sure if our air show will happen tomorrow or not. Nevertheless, let me get started here. I got a lot of stuff to go over. First and foremost, I want to go over this because I'm kind of excited about this. A little bit of a nerd, so I will do it anyway. I got something in the mail today. This is something that we've worked kind of hard on doing, and I'm proud to open this up on YouTube and of course Instagram also. So let's see what we got here. This is I'll do the opening where everybody can see it. This is I'll read the letter here in a second. This is my silver button plaque from YouTube. I'm shocked that they sent this to me. I did not think I would get one, but they came through and they did. First to the YouTube folks, because you guys are the ones that are subscribing and you guys are the reason why I got it. And to the Instagram folks. Very cool, very cool. It says, presented to Legally Armed America for passing 100,000 subscribers, YouTube. This is the silver play button. I understand that there is, I believe, the next one might be diamond at 1 million subscribers. So it'll be quite some time before I get to that. But anyway, I'm at 100. This was for 100,000. Right now, I think we have 147,000. So it's kind of funny because it took me 4 or 5 years to get to 100,000. We eclipsed that last August, and then since August of last year until now, we've almost got half of that. So it's crazy how things work. You know how they say the rich get richer? Kind of, it's the same philosophy here. You know, it took us all those years to get to 100, and it's like not even really trying, and we've already gotten half of that. So we're almost to 150 now. So anyway, I'm kind of proud of this because I've worked pretty hard at this. I'm still debating about shooting this, just because I think it would look really cool if I had a couple of bullet holes in it. I can tell you that it's not that greatly made. It looks robust to you guys. It might look nice and strong and robust, but it's really not. I mean, it's some cheap aluminum, kind of a brushed aluminum thing. But I think it might look kind of cool hanging on my wall with like a couple of bullet holes in different areas, and maybe even right in the middle of the play button right there. But anyway, it's kind of cool. I mean, I was shocked to get it because I didn't think that YouTube would send that to gun guys, even though I asked for it. Let's see. Their note says, congratulations on your subscriber milestone. We are honored to take part in I doubt this is meant for me. We are honored to take part in recognizing your achievement and want your experience to be exceptional. This award was inspected and packaged with great care by Rick. Thank you, Rick. Rick, I bet, did not look at my channel before he sent that. And then YouTube's letter says, you've just done something that very few YouTube creators accomplish. You had an astonishing 100,000 people subscribe to your channel. We know that numbers on YouTube can get really big, but we hope that you don't lose sight of the reality behind that six-digit milestone. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's all good. And the paper's not cheap that they sent either. They really went out. I mean, this is really good paper. Look how it stands up like that. See that? That's really, really quality paper right there. That's not your run-of-the-mill, everyday, cheap Walmart paper right there. So they really, really went out. That deserves a drink of cold beer. If you got one, drink it. Oh, that's a good beer. I needed that. Okay. We had the NRA show a couple of weeks ago. A lot of cool stuff happening at the NRA show. A lot of stuff that probably the NRA would wish had not happened. As you guys all know, the crazy stuff that went down. Oliver North asked Wayne LaPierre to step down. Wayne LaPierre refused to step down. Oliver North actually had the support of the board to ask Wayne to step down, and he refused. And as everybody always says, if you're going to aim for the king, you better hit him, because he did not hit Wayne LaPierre, and Wayne LaPierre booted Oliver North out as president. So it's kind of funny how the executive vice president can boot the president out, but it happens. Weird stuff right there. A lot of crazy stuff going on. So all I can say is, you know, do what you can to watch things that's going on right now. I'm not telling you to abandon the NRA. I'm not one of those guys. I just think that the NRA has a lot of damage that it needs to work on. They need to do something. They've done too much damage from within, and a lot of people are getting tired of it. So anyway, let's see. Guy that comments says, can we sell it to fund the channel? Yeah, we might be able to. Talking about the play button, shooting it with a gun. Anyway, guys, let me get into a couple of things. This was kind of something that I'm excited about, and hopefully I have some help to get this thing rolling. One of the cool things that I did at NRA, I ran into a whole lot of different vendors that we're going to be doing business with. We actually have some paid sponsors that are coming on board, and I'm excited about that. You know, it takes money to fund this show, right? You see all the stuff that we do, and I mean, none of this is for free. It takes a little bit of coin to make this happen. So I've got, I think it was 4 new paid sponsors, at least that many more gear providers who are going to be sending us stuff on a regular basis, things that we normally use, kind of like expendable type stuff, whether it be targets, ammunition, things of that nature that are going to be used up. You know what I mean? Not guns, so to speak. It actually, again, expendable type stuff. But one of the cool people that I met was, and I'm not going to use your last name, I think he's on here, Dennis from Ergo Grip. Ergo, let me see here, if you guys do not know who Ergo is, if you do not know who they are, you probably recognize the logo now. Ergo Grips is pretty much how I know them from the grips that they put. They've done a lot of business with Wyndham Weaponry over the years. And of course, I've done a lot of business with Wyndham Weaponry over the years. So I'm used to the Ergo logo and their actual grips. More specifically, I thought I brought one that was out. Here we go. More specifically, the really fat grip. And I asked Dennis whenever we were at the NRA show, in fact, I'm going to pull it down because I want to inspect it. And if he's on here, I want him to tell me if that is his grip on this gun. Let me grab it real quick. Let's see here. Where you at? Come on. Get off of there. All right. If this is not one of Ergo Grips, then it's a pretty fine, yep, it is. It actually says Ergo Grip on it. I asked him at the NRA show if the fat grip, because it's the first time I'd ever used one of these really fat grips on this Armalite. This is a 3-gun Armalite. If you'll notice, it's got a much shorter barrel than normal, but it's also got a stock. It was done legally like this because the muzzle brake is actually pinned on here, so it cannot come off. So it's a couple inches shorter than your standard rifle. But I had noticed whenever I went to his booth and talked to him that this grip looked remarkably like this grip. And it is an Ergo grip. So Dennis, you don't have to answer if you're on here because that says Ergo grip on it, or Ergo. Can you guys from Instagram see it right there, the little round spot? So that is an Ergo grip. I like it. I like it. See, it's very, very fat. Right in this area right here, it's more pronounced on the thick side. I guess I can show you here. So you can see it's going to fill your palm out a little bit better. I'm a real big fan of that. I like that. So Dennis and I talked, and I am a shotgun guy. They had decked out, really tricked out some nice looking shotguns over there. So they had done some pretty cool stuff in their booth, some stuff that I looked at and I was really fond of. Did great work, great work. So I was like, man, we need to do something together. So a mutual friend of ours put us together. And yeah, man, we are going to do some pretty cool stuff. Dennis was kind enough to send me not only a couple of his grips, but everything else that I'm going to need. Buttstock. Let me get back here where I don't have to show both cameras. Buttstock. And oh, by the way, this is going to be with a, I'm waiting on a Remington 870 Marine Edition pump action shotgun to come in. If you guys aren't familiar with that, instead of your standard blued finish or black finish on a Remington 870 pump, it's got the silver kind of nickel plated looking finish to it. It's the Marine finish that's supposed to be like waterproof and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a cool looking addition to be able to put all this black furniture on it and have the silver offset that a little bit. That's going to be a really, really nice, cool look to it. But I really, really like what they've done at Ergo. They've got this 4-end piece that's going to go on, obviously, the pump. Look how small that is. Can you see how narrow that is? Look how my hand just swallows that thing up. I like that. I don't like a big, chunky hunk out front of me whenever I'm trying to pump my shotgun. To me, this is a lot nicer. It's more streamlined. Not only the fact that it's small and nice like that, Dennis was also kind enough to include the, I call them rail scales because I think VZ Grips might have coined that term. So I'm just always been used to that. But they fit into the actual rails themselves and they give you some grip. And I'm gonna have all kinds of trouble getting it out. I'm not trying to save the bag, so let me just get them out of here. Let's see. Here we go. Come on. So these guys are gonna fit inside these guys. And of course we'll trim off what we don't use. And I probably shouldn't be doing this while I'm trying to talk to you guys. Anyway, it'll take some time for me to get them in there. But it's rubber pieces that fit inside the rails there. So that's kind of cool. Of course, you have your piece that you're going to be able to take your standard stock off of your 870 shotgun. Well, I'm not going to take it out because it's got some parts in here I don't want to lose. But you'll modify that, put that on where the stock goes, and then you can include the Ergo's own grip here that they have. This is a really meaty, mean-looking grip right here. So you can get real tactical with it. You take that standard shotgun buttstock off, and you put this bad boy on here by using this adapter. I don't want to lose those screws. There we go. So you put this adapter on there, and then it will accept this guy right here. So I'm excited about it. I mean, I've actually never used one of these stocks here. This is a really cool stock here. It looks like it, and Dennis, I apologize. My eyes are really bad. If you're on here and you're commenting, I cannot see because I have very bad eyes. But it looks like it extends to 7 different, well, actually 8 different positions. So yeah, this thing here, you can fine tune this to the exact size that you want it to be. I'm excited about this, guys. This is gonna be a really fun project. I enjoy stuff like this. Just so you guys know, I will be filming all of that. I'm going to document the whole thing. I will put whenever the shotgun comes in. I'll piece all that together, all the video. It may be a video that takes me a little while, over a day or so to actually film, because I'll film the shotgun coming in and then disassembling the shotgun and then putting the shotgun together with the Ergo parts. So I'm excited about that. And Dennis, if you're on here, thank you so much for jumping on this so quickly, because you were not slow about it at all. Dennis hit me up within a day or two after the NRA annual meeting with an email and was like, what do you want? What do you need? Let me get it out to you. And as soon as I sent him the links of everything that I wanted to modify the shotgun with, he sent it out the door, and I got a tracking number for it. So that's the kind of customer service you can expect from Ergo. So I highly recommend you guys check them out. I'm hopeful that, and we haven't talked real in depth or anything like that, but I'm hopeful that we can do some kind of like a product code or something like that we can use on Legally Owned America, and we can actually get you guys some discounts if you want to order some products from their online store. I'm sure we can talk Dennis into giving us some kind of a discount or something for you guys that like punch in a Legally Owned America code. I want to point this out real quick. Richard Portella, good to see you. Richard asked, did your Paul Glasgow official Twitter account get taken down? Yes, it did. For those of you that did or didn't follow me on Twitter, you guys know how social media is. All social medias have kind of a different purpose to them. Like Instagram, for instance, is more picture-based. You enter pictures, and of course you can do video and live stuff like what we're doing here, but it's more picture-related. YouTube obviously is video, and it can get kind of brutal in the comment section sometime. Facebook, the comments don't get too crazy. Twitter, the comments get crazy. I'm no different. I'm pretty brutal on Twitter. I will rip somebody. I find the anti-gun people, I seek them out. I follow most of the anti-gun people, and I comment on their stuff. I let them know, and I'm pretty rough on them. Well, apparently I hurt some feelings last week because Twitter, I don't even know how long, but right now I'm banned from Twitter. So I have no idea how long that's going to last. I don't know what the duration. I don't know. I don't think it's permanent, because I can still get on there and look at stuff. I just can't post anything. So they haven't kicked me off of Twitter, but I just can't post anything. So those of you that are looking at it, I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm still commenting on some things on Twitter through the Legally Armed America Twitter account. But I'm trying to be a little bit more professional on the Legally Armed America Twitter account, because it's not my personal account. So I'm just trying to be kind of polite. Yeah, I'm still a little bit rude on there. But I'm telling you, on my personal Paul Glasgow account, Richard, if you followed it, you know what I'm talking about. I was downright brutal. I mean, I would call people out, and I would call them exactly what they were. And I would use whatever terms came to mind whenever I was doing that. So anyway, yes, it seems like my personal page has been taken down. Again, guys, if you got them, drink them. Please don't drive tonight. If you do, couple things I want to show you guys. I got some really cool stuff that we're going to be talking about in some videos coming up. Oh, what's funny is one of the last videos that I just put out was the the accidental discharge versus the negligent discharge, and I knew that was going to stir some people up. But it's funny. You guys on here, y'all know me. I think we're all kind of cut from the same cloth as far as how we think, how we believe different things happen, take place, all that good stuff. And I think we all, to a certain degree, I think we all hold ourselves accountable for our own actions. I feel like we're all somewhat responsible. I know when we've had people pile in the room, there's this one kid, Be Real, that has been in here before that has disrupted some things, and you can tell he's a child, probably lives in a basement. Well, long story short, I put out this video on negligent versus accidental discharge, and you should read the comments. If you guys haven't seen it yet, check the comments out on it. For some reason, Be Real now, his account has either been deleted or I don't know. I mean, he's not blocked. I don't know what the reason is, but I mean, he's not. He went on that that video, and he even emailed me some different stuff, and he was so adamant that accidents just happen. He was so adamant about that, and I mean, to the point of being vulgar and rude. Like, I'm crazy because I hold myself accountable for, quote, accidents happening. He was like, accidents just happen. They just happen. You're not perfect. You're trying to act like you're perfect. Accidents happen. Whether you think they do or not, accidents happen. I'm like, no, negligence happens. Whenever you wash your hands and they're still wet and you go grab a loaded gun and you drop it and it goes off, that's on you. That's not because of the gun. That's not because of your hands. That's not because something crazy in the universe and planets got all misaligned caused you to drop it. You washed your hands, you did not dry them off, and you dropped your gun. That is on you. Anyway, I blistered this kid to the point where I don't know what he did, but he's not on here tonight. I've been looking for him because I figured he might come on. But anyway, sometimes I got to remind myself that these are children and just leave them alone. But you need to go read some of the comments on there, because there are some other comments of people that are like, oh, no, I disagree. Accidents just happen. No accountability whatsoever. I have some cool new guns that I guess they're not really new. They're new to me that I want to show you guys. And I have some reasons for doing some of the stuff I'm going to do. This is the SIG P320X carry. This is the very unusual and well-made cousin of the standard P320 that you guys are all familiar with. I got to tell you, I have not shot this gun yet, just so you guys can get an up close of it. I have not shot this, but I can tell you I am looking forward to shooting this thing a lot. This thing is like, I want to show you a combination of stuff. Okay, I also have the new Glock, just if anybody's wondering if we're safe or not, the Glock 43X, okay? Got this guy here too. But for comparison's sake, I wanted to also bring up the SIG P365, which I still think, other than a few minimal problems they had with it, is still an exceptional invention, simply because of the size of the mag and the way they were able to put this mag together. I think that the P320XC is in the same realm as this P365, simply because it is somewhat of a compact package, but holds a lot of rounds. What is this thing, 15 rounds? Yeah, 15 rounds, 15 plus one. 15 plus one in this thing. If you look at it, and I'm not trying to pick on Glock here, I think this gun came out because of this gun, the P365. I don't think Glock had any intentions of putting the 43X out or the 48 out. I think that when this gun came out and started destroying the market for concealed carry pistols, Glock said, we got to do something. We got to regain part of our market share, because clearly Glock's the leader as far as market share. We all know that. But this gun kicked them in the pills. This gun was destroying Glock. Well, when they put this out, it's like, Glock's not stupid. If we build it, they're going to buy it. That's what they think. No offense to Glock. Glock doesn't care what you think or what you think. Glock cares about money. And they know that there's enough people out there, they could put this stupid thing out with horns coming out of it and people would still buy it. They get that. They understand that. So really no reason to rebuild anything or remake anything. This frame is definitely brand new for this 43X, because it's simply the 43, which I happen to be carrying right now. It's the 43 slide put on a bigger frame, a longer frame. So this is a brand new frame. The frame is brand new. But if you take this SIG, and I have a reason for telling you all this, this P320, look at this. Let me show you something. If I take from where the slide meets the frame and show you the difference, that is the Glock on the left for the Instagram guys, and SIG on the right. Actually, I'm sorry, totally wrong. I don't know, you figure it out, because I don't know if it's mirrored or not. And then for YouTube, if you notice on this side over here, this is the SIG, and that side over there, that's the Glock. Look at the hand, look at the grip. Now the SIG is definitely wider, also has 5 more rounds in it, but look at the length. I think most of us can agree. Oh, and look at this. Look at the slide length. Let me get it right. Look at that slide length. Now, sure, this SIG is a little bit wider than this 43X. But if this was designed to compete with this, okay, excuse me, the P365 is much narrower, it's shorter, much shorter, and the handle is much shorter. So the 43X is not really competing with the P365. This might be the answer to the P365. This is Glock's answer to SIG's P365, but it's certainly not competing with this. This thing still, from a concealability standpoint, blows this one out the water. Oh, and by the way, did I mention 10 rounds? 10 rounds. So both of these guys house 10 rounds, much smaller than this. So again, Glock just put this out to get in the game. SIG, with this pistol, looks like, if you look at round count as being a huge benefit, this gun is actually destroying the 43X. Because in my opinion, the little bit of width that you give up with this SIG is not that big of a deal. Whenever I'm concealed carrying, yes, width does make a difference. I will agree with you. This does matter. There's no doubt. Further away from your body, it's a little bit harder to conceal. But there's no, all of us will agree, this is the hard part to conceal. On your body, right here, this is what, well, where are you at? This is the harder part to conceal, right here. So when you put your shirt over it, where that handle, that grip sticks out in the back, that's where it's more of an issue. So, and I guess this is gonna work. So my Glock now, if you look at it in terms of concealability, would be a little bit less easier to conceal. Because now the handle, and let me clear this 43. I don't like having a loaded gun up here. Okay, if you notice again, that's your handle difference on the 43 and the 43X. The 43 and the 43X. So you've got your grip here, that's gonna be a little bit longer on that. So this is gonna be a harder gun to conceal than this one. Anyway, guys, I just see some weird stuff happening here where Glock pounces into the game to get a little bit of that nut, you know what I mean? But at the same time, SIG's over here in the background with their P320 XC thinking, we still got you whipped over here. Now, granted, this thing is heavier. There's no question. When you feel the weight of it, the mass of this thing, you can tell the difference. I mean, I have not weighed them yet, but clearly the P320 XC is definitely heavier than the 43X. But in terms of size, again, other than the thickness of it, nah. I see SIG really putting a number on those guys. The thing SIG has done that nobody else has seemed to be able to figure out is to build and put together magazines that somehow are able to, I don't know how they do it, but they're staggering these rounds in there, and they're able to put way more rounds in it. Now, you can see that the magazines of the 43X, let me get this thing right. This is the 43X, and this is the P365. The 43X and the P365. So you can see the SIG is definitely a hair wider than the Glock. They have figured out how to make this thing, and if you look at the magwell, you can barely even see the difference in the width, but there is a difference. SIG being right here. But clearly SIG has figured out a way to engineer this thing, keeping the magwell slightly wider without giving you the feel in the palm of your hand that you have a large gun. I mean, any hand can handle this thing. Anybody can control it. It's not like it's big and massive and going to be hard to handle in any kind of way. So, I don't know. I think that Glock is going to probably have to do some things to catch up to the P365, because there's no question that they've got it figured out, a way to make more rounds fit into a much smaller gun. Because, again, if we're going to compare just the blueprint of these two guys right here, they're so very close in size, yet I got five more rounds in this guy right here. So hey, let's see. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I'm not dogging Glock at all for what they're doing, because I'm glad that they are trying to do something different. I mean, they've been putting out the same black guns for how long? You know, and just here recently, they started out with the 42, then the 43, and then they mixed up the slides on the 19 and the 17 to call it the, what they call the 19X, and now they got these guys coming out. So, you know, for Glock, it's innovative. For Glock, it is. I'm not saying that they are an innovative company and that they're blowing the doors off of anybody, because clearly they're not. But for Glock, they are innovative. So anyway, I'm excited about that. I'm excited to do my review on it. I'm probably going to do a combination of reviews on these two guns, but both of these guys are going to get reviewed, the 43X and the P320 XC. So, I guess that's all I got to talk about. For a change, I'm actually ahead of time here. Usually I'm going off on some kind of a rant. How about if I take some questions now? Again, I got my Instagram guys over here and my YouTube guys over here, and I am going to take my time and look at you guys' questions. Hey, Ergo Grips is in the room. I guess that's Dennis. Dennis, thank you so much, or whoever's with Ergo, for joining us. I hope you got to catch what I talked about earlier, unboxing your stuff. I'm very excited about it. That's going to be a cool project. I like projects like that. You know, when you got a project that you can allow your viewers and your friends to kind of go out there and really follow along with you. You know, it's not every day that, first of all, we don't all have the time, the money, the resources, the place to do all these rebuilds and these types of, you know, builds like that. We just don't have that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of gun stuff that it may seem like I have access to that I don't have time for. So it's nice for me. I'm a big YouTuber. I get online. I read stuff. I watch stuff. So I do just like all of my friends out here do, all of you guys watching right now. And it's fun for me to be able to watch somebody else document a project, because you feel like, even if it's just emotionally, you feel like you've got a hand in it, you know? And it's fun for me to do that because I can experience it. And you know what? It might be something that I say, okay, now I don't want to do that. On the other hand, it may say I either want to do that exact same thing or want to do it a little bit different. And that's what's cool. I wish I would have brought, I don't think I have. No, I didn't bring a catalog. The Ergo catalog. I didn't bring an Ergo catalog up here with me. I wish I could show you guys that. Go to, and Dennis, if you're on here, can you mention what your website is? I'm assuming ergo.com. I'll tell you right now, I'm sure it's on one of these packages. Ergogrips.net, my bad. Ergogrips.net. Here, guys, let me show it to you. Ergogrips.net down here at the bottom. And for the Instagram guys, ergogrips.net. Go out there and take a look. You're going to be surprised, because in all honesty, I'm going to be honest with you guys, before I got a chance to go to their booth and talk to Dennis, I just assumed it was all grips. I mean, I thought that was their thing, that they were just a grip manufacturer. I didn't know they had the stocks, the foregrips, and all the accessories and whatnot out there. A lot of cool stuff. So yeah, go check them out if you get a chance. You might be impressed. I was. So I'm looking forward to building the shotgun out, and then hopefully after that, maybe we'll grab an AR-15 or something, and we'll deck one of those guys out. That'll be a lot of fun. And you know, again, we're gonna have to twist Dennis's arm to see if he'll allow us to put a product code up there or something like that, where we can definitely get you guys a discount. Let's see. Dennis says the only thing we don't make is the barrel, upper, lower, and trigger. We added a charging handle today. Really? Added a charging handle. Now that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. We'll definitely need to do an AR build. We'll do an AR build, and let's see. What did you say? Barrel, upper, lower, and trigger. What I will do is maybe I will get, I'll contact a company that I'm not going to say who it is. I don't want to put them on the spot. I'll put them, I'll definitely get them. Look, there's a code right there. Dennis says 20 off Ergo. I'm assuming that's 20% off. So there you go, guys. If you want 20% off an order, go to Ergo, let me get it right, ergogrips.net. Ergogrips.net, and punch in the offer code of 20, the number 20, offer go, and you will get 20% off your order. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that, man. That's a pretty good deal, because if we're not talking about $300 products here, these are affordable products. I mean, he's knocking 20% off of that, a fifth of the overall price. So check that out, guys. A couple things. Somebody mentioned in the feed over here. Let me go back to it. Where is it? Somebody mentioned this. Oh, here it is. Richard says, what's up with these kids doing the school shootings? Man, you know, and I try my best not to call them, and I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not bashing you, Richard, but I try not to call them school shootings, because all it does is draw attention to the gun. I call them school murders or school killings. This one is really weird. I mean, these, again, there was a warning. Nobody heeded the warning. Then we've got an 18-year-old. What blew my mind is whenever I'm reading the headlines and trying to get the information that came in about this killing, I read that it was an adult and a minor that performed the school shooting, and they claimed in the headlines that, okay, again, they specified an adult and a minor, but then they said they were both students at the school. So I'm thinking, okay, there were students at the school? All right, so was it an adult or a child? You ever notice how when the anti-gun folks want to speak down to us and talk down to us and make people seem like, you know, little bitty kids, and they can't take care of themselves, and they're helpless, and we really need to get emotional and pass gun control laws because the poor little teenagers and the children are at risk here. They always play that child card until that teenager or that child actually commits the crime. Now all of a sudden they're adults. The headlines made sure and pointed out that this was an adult and a minor. It was an 18-year-old. Under normal circumstances, they throw that into a child getting shot. So if an 18-year-old gets shot somewhere in Chicago or anywhere else, these guys call it a child. A kid got shot tonight. An 18-year-old kid got shot. But whenever they actually kill somebody and they do something wrong and they're crazy and they're anti-Trump, God forbid, now all of a sudden they're grown men. They're adults. I don't know what to think about this last shooting. I don't buy into the whole conspiracy stuff. That's not anything I'm into. But, I mean, you've basically got an 18-year-old boy. I feel bad for him. And and I'm trying not to pass judgment, but you guys know my theories. I don't think guns have anything to do with it. I do think it's a perfect storm that we have a combination of fatherless homes, over-medicated children, and bullied kids. Look at this kid. Look at the adult. Look, the quote adult, the 18-year-old. He's got bright pink hair, bushy hair, not passing judgment. It's a pretty good chance he gets picked on. So he's probably bullied, probably medicated, probably has some mood-altering drugs, some psychotropic drugs. And then the other person, the quote minor that was with him, let me get this right. Because while I don't mind offending people, I don't want to offend anybody. It was a girl who identifies as a boy. I don't want to get them switched up. Yeah. So it really is a girl. It's basically an 18-year-old male and a 16-year-old girl. But I can't call her a 16-year-old girl because she is a 16-year-old boy in her own mind. So here we go again with the whole mental thing. Guys, you can get mad at me if you want to. I'm sorry. If you have Franks and beans, but you think that you're a girl, you got problems up here. If you don't have Franks and beans, but you think you're a boy, you got problems up here. That's not normal. I'm sorry, it might be acceptable in society, and I don't care what you want to do, and I don't care what you call yourself. That's not normal. You can't sit here and say, because I own, that I collect 200 guns, don't call me abnormal. Don't say that something's not normal with me, whenever in your mind, you have Franks and beans, and you think you're a girl. Who's the most normal here? That would be me. Because science can't prove that something's wrong with me. If you are born a boy and you still have all the hardware and all the plumbing of a boy and you think you're a girl, that is not normal. I don't care if it's socially acceptable. That's still not normal. That's no different than me thinking that I'm a dog. I'm a human being, but suddenly I identify as a dog. That is not normal. At some point, do we stop these people from owning guns? Because clearly, this person took part in a, quote, mass shooting. To me, is that not a sign? Is that not something that identifies that now these people are mentally incapacitated? They're not capable of functioning in normal everyday life? Because that is not normal, guys. I don't care what you say, that's not normal. I'm not going to get into the whole societal thing and how it, what you do in your own time and all that. Look, I don't care. I don't care. I'm a very hard right-leaning libertarian is the way I look at myself. I'm of the opinion that you do whatever you want to do, just don't let it affect me. Well, this person, this girl, being a little wacko, thought it would be normal, apparently, to go shoot up a school. So this girl thinks it's normal to be born a girl and call herself a boy, and she apparently also thought it would be normal to go shoot up a school. Guys, how can we say that that is okay? How can we sit back and go, just because this is socially acceptable, that I should ignore all of this? I should not ignore that. The signs are there. And again, guys, if anybody on here is like that, More power to you. I still don't think it's normal, and I'm sorry if that offends you, but I still don't think that it's normal. But I don't care what you do. Just don't shoot a school up. That's when I start to really care. And I have to back up because I'm one of those kind of people. I like to look at root causes. What's the cause here? Okay, let's go back and look at this girl that's 16 years old that thinks she's a boy. Is she in her fatherless home? Does she take mood-altering drugs? And was she bullied? I'll bet you yes on all of those. So did those things create the mental issue where suddenly she thinks she's a boy? You know what I mean? Is it the cart before the horse thing? Which one happened first? I think that we've got to, I've been in arguments today online on different forums. I go out and I seek out these anti-gun people and I'll talk to them. I approach them face to face, and I don't, unless they say something stupid, I don't necessarily belittle them or get in their faces until they become very disrespectful to me, and then I let them have it with both barrels, no pun intended. But I try to seek them out, and the first thing I ask them whenever they start bringing up all of their anti-gun rules and how they can fix things by banning this and regulating this and giving me a different background check that I have to pass now as a legally armed person, all this kind of stuff. And then I ask them, well, you're downstream. You're looking way downstream. The problem has already happened. In other words, once a person decides that, once their mind gets to the point where they think it's acceptable to shoot school kids out of school, they're way downstream. They're way downstream. In other words, there wasn't a gun present. There was not a gun in their life. And they sat there and stared at that gun and said, I need to figure out how I can make this gun a part of my life. I need to figure out how to be one with this gun. This gun is in my life. It's in my world now. It's in my environment. I got to figure out how to put this thing to use. I got to do something with this gun. It's time now for me to figure out what I'm going to do with this gun. And it needs to be something bad. That's not how it happens, guys. The gun doesn't show up first, and then the person goes off into some la-la land with crazy thoughts of shooting up a school. What happens is the mind goes to that dark place first. The mind is there first. This isn't in the picture first. This, upside down, is in the picture first. Then along that path downstream, they've already accepted the fact that it's okay to kill people. They start accepting things that are not right and that are not wrong, twisted, like thinking they're a boy whenever they're actually physically a girl, provably a girl. Then they seek this out. This doesn't just pop up in their world. They seek this out once they've made that decision in their own minds to do something negative and do something crazy and do something wrong. This was not what perpetrated that. This did not start it. It started here, and then they sought this out. Why does the left and the anti-gun people pass everything else up, upstream, pass it all up, go downstream until they get to this, and now we gotta ban these? You ignored everything else that happened way back there. You ignored it all. You acted like none of it even happened. Why are we not trying to hold these families together, keep them together? Heck, maybe just get married. I'm not saying you should be in a bad relationship if it's a bad relationship. I'm not saying that at all. If you need to bust up, that's fine. But you know what? Maybe try to work on it. Marriage is not easy, and I'm not trying to go all social on you guys and all godlike on you guys. You do whatever you want. But marriages are not easy. My marriage is not easy. My wife and I both have to work at it. Maybe if you worked a little hard, instead of taking the easy way out all the time, that it might be something that you can keep that marriage together for your kids, and suddenly there's a dad in the house or a mom in the house. Mom's equally important. And you raise his kid. I would say I could not raise my son without my wife. I don't know how people do it. Single parents do it. That's too hard. And you know what happens? When a single parent is raising a child, less care goes into that child, watching out for that child, looking for those signs, looking for those things that might be going wrong with that child. Because guess what? That single parent is sometimes working 2 jobs. They're having to find a way to make ends meet, pay those bills, pay for school lunch, again, work. There's so many things that a single parent has to do that is split in half whenever you have a mom and a dad at home, or two dads and two moms. Again, I don't care what you do, as long as there's a pair of people trying to raise that child. That's a big help. Then on top of that, we have teachers who are not qualified, teachers who take the easy way out. And I'm not saying all teachers, guys, so don't jump on me about teachers, but teachers who there's no way they can get a different degree, so they say, I'm going to take a teacher's degree. So they're not qualified. They're definitely not qualified from a psychological standpoint in any kind of way. And then all of a sudden they start recommending to the parents, you need to medicate little Johnny, because little Johnny is disruptive in my class. So let's give him some mood-altering psychotropic drugs, and all of a sudden we start twisting his brain and start messing his brain up. We send him into a deep, deep depression because his mind is not capable of handling all that crap that you're pumping into his system. His system is not made for those drugs. And then we sit back and wonder, after we've put this kid on drugs for 6 months and he starts going into an even deeper depression, we wonder, oh my God, it's worse than I expected. Of course it's worse than you expected. You just pumped all these psychotropic drugs, all these mood-altering drugs into this poor kid. You just made him a depressed basket case. And dad's not around? Oh, guess what? Let's add something else. Now, because they're depressed and they become a loner and they become a little bit more enclosed, now they get bullied at school. Guess what we do? There's parents at schools that were not the cool kids. They weren't the cool kids. But now the cool kids like them because, excuse me, I said parents. I think I said parents. I meant teachers. There's teachers at school that were not the cool kids, but they're friends now with the other cool kids now that they're teachers. Those people, those new cool teachers, are watching out for the cool kids in class. So when they bully these other kids, they look the other way. They turn the other way. I can remember in 7th grade watching a teacher turn the other way when I watched somebody get bullied, and I watched that teacher look at both children, the one getting bullied and the other one, and did not say a word to the bully, turned and walked the other way. Now, I don't know what her reason was for doing that. I don't know if she was one of the outcasts in school or something like that. But something happened, and for some reason, she looked the other way and walked off. And I watched the look on that kid being bullied, the look on his face, knowing that there was nothing there was nobody at that school looking out for him. You imagine that feeling? When you've got a school full of kids, and in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I've at least got the principals, the counselors, and the teachers looking out for me and trying to police things. And when you have that one time, when it comes time for that teacher to step in and take up for that bullied kid and reprimand that bully, that teacher looks the other way and walks off. Imagine the betrayal that kid feels at that point, because everybody else has left him hanging and now the teachers do it. That's got to be a horrible, horrible feeling. I cannot imagine that betrayal that kid feels, seeing stuff like that. So again, guys, I'm telling you, I've tried sending my videos, I've tried sending things that I've written up to these anti-gun people and say, hey, look, y'all want to have a conversation, let's talk. I'm trying to catch these things way upstream, way over here, way over there. I'm trying to cut these things and get rid of them and knock them out before they get downstream and before that kid starts looking for a gun to shoot people with. I'm trying to take care of it and nip it in the bud way when that mind is starting to go wrong, when it's starting to go south, when it's starting to go dark. I'm trying to catch it way back there. I want to get them well before they get to this point, before they start looking for a gun and looking for a tool to carry out the dark things in their minds. But the left doesn't want to talk to me, guys. Every time I try to talk to them, they will not have that conversation with me. They say that I'm stuck on the Second Amendment, which happens to be the Second Amendment in the Constitution, and that I'm not willing to compromise. No, it's not that I'm not willing to compromise. Number one, the Constitution was not written to compromise. That's not what it was written for. It's a non-compromised amendment. It is what it is. It's not for me to compromise it. If I wanted to compromise it, it's not for me to do. It wasn't made for me to compromise. I don't care what I wish would happen to the Second Amendment. It ain't going to happen because it's a non-compromise document. So it's one of these kind of things where they always throw it back in my face that I'm not willing to have the conversation, an honest conversation, but I am, and they're not willing to talk to me. What? It makes you wonder if it really is all political to them, because do they really care about these kids? I don't think they do. Because why wouldn't they want to do more studies on why we're over medicating? There's 4 million children in America being over medicated right now from the ages of 6 weeks old, 6 weeks, to, of course, adulthood. Now, you don't think that those 4 million kids, that's just 4 million from infants to 18 years old. That's when they stop being called adults. You don't think those 4 million kids they don't continue to be medicated once they become adults? We're talking about kids. That's why we're not including the adults. But the adults are over medicated too. And again, I'm not dogging anybody that's taking mood altering drugs. That's not my thing here. Children don't have a say in that, guys. We do. If I feel like something's not right up here and I want some mood altering drugs, that's my choice. That's my choice as an adult man to seek out a doctor, tell them what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, and tell them why I feel like I need whatever it is that I need. A child doesn't have that choice. That teacher tells that parent, little Johnny needs to be doped up. Little Johnny's a little bit too crazy in my class, so he needs something. The teacher takes that to the doctor. The doctors have heard it a million times. So the doctor says, or the doctor is told, hey, teacher says, I need to give little Johnny some medication. Give me something. Because she's got 2 or 3 other kids that she's working with, and she don't have time to be bothered with little Johnny and whatever he needs. So instead of her taking the time to figure out what drug the doctor's trying to put him on, what type of dosage it is, does he really need it, how frequently does he need it, what are the side effects of it, instead of looking at all that, which the side effects are almost always causes depression. I think 100% of the times that I've read warning labels on these medications that they're giving to these kids, they all say depression. All say depression. So instead of us doing all this kind of stuff, the easy way out is to just medicate my kid. Medicate my kid. So they medicate the kid, and then they start, look, this is not a temporary thing, guys. When you start putting these chemicals in the minds of these kids, you change the chemistry of their brain. You change the direction. Their brains are, isn't a kid's brain, I believe, it's being formed until they're like 23 or 26 years old? So we're giving 10-year-old kids mood-altering drugs? Their brains are being developed for 16 more years after that. Yet we give them all these drugs, dope them up, and make them zombies, and we think that it's a temporary thing. We think that it's like drinking a beer, that somehow or another, that whenever they come out of that, everything's going to be fine. No, you're changing the chemical makeup of these children. You're changing their minds. Their minds are growing inside all this doped up medicine that we're putting in them. I know I'm ranting, guys, on that kind of stuff, and you probably don't want to hear it, but I'm tired of talking to these anti-gun people that want to say, ban this, ban this, ban this, and they don't want to talk about anything whenever, once we have the conversation about guns and kids shooting at schools, we're way deep into it. The gun is not the issue at that point. There has been stuff happening in this kid's mind well before a gun ever entered the picture. And that's what bothers me. It bothers me that the anti-gun people do not want to have this honest conversation. I don't know if this makes them uncomfortable or what, but they will not talk to me about it. Anyway, guys, I see we have Philip is a dipshit that thinks that I'm a nut because I'm talking truth. Clearly, Philip is the anti-gun guy because nothing I said is crazy. Anyway, guys, I just want to get off of here. It's 8 o'clock right now. So I want to roll out of here and let you guys know that I have some really cool stuff that I'm going to be going over this week. Again, with the 6-hour P320 XC. and the Glock 43X. These are going to be some cool reviews. I'm excited about them. I think that some of the stuff I'm going to be able to do, I don't know how much filming I'm going to be able to do this weekend because of the rain. Dennis, I'm sorry if I went off on too much of a tangent with you guys. Ergo Grips, I appreciate you hanging out in here with us. A lot of fun having people like you coming in here. What we need to do is we need to get to a point where when we're doing this project with Ergo Grips, we may actually seek some feedback from you and your company. So again, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And I'm glad to introduce everybody in here to Dennis's company and Ergo Grips. What I'll do is I'll probably post some more information as we start building the video out and let you guys go visit Dennis and his crew out there and see some of the stuff that they have to offer out there. And I hope you guys will check in with them. I will say this, for the sake of full disclosure, Dennis sent me these things. I did not purchase these things. But as you guys all know, I will be as unbiased as I possibly can. I'm already a fan of Ergo Grips because of the what I've used, so I can tell you I'm already going to like their products. I don't mind telling you that, but I know there's some discussion out there about some of the other YouTube guys that just simply have an issue with, I guess being biased in some of their reviews, and I'm not like that. Again, Ergo Grips says info@ergogrips.net, and I manage the account. Nice, very nice. So again, guys, info@ergogrips.net. Reach out to Dennis, talk to him, tell him you saw him on here on the Legally Armed America stream. Guys, we're going to see you next Friday night, same time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I will have a bunch of videos going out this week. Dennis, I am going to rely on you to help me put a little pressure on Todd to get that shotgun sent out, because I know that's kind of where we're at right now, waiting on that Remington to come over to us. So maybe you can help me kind of light a fire under him a little bit to get that thing moving. Guys, we're going to see you guys again. Shoot straight, be safe. If you're drinking tonight, please do not drive. Hopefully you're at home. Get a dedicated, designated driver if you are. Hope you guys have a good weekend, a safe weekend. There's some bad weather running across the south this weekend, guys. So if you do get out, please be safe. Crazy stuff, trees falling, high winds, rain, hail the size of baseballs came down here in South Louisiana last night. So a lot of crazy stuff going on, guys. So please, please, please proceed with caution, be safe, and we want to see you guys here next Friday night. So don't do anything stupid, don't do anything careless, and again, be safe, guys.